starts off.
All right.
So welcome. Hello.
We're live right now. Hey guys. They want to see us. Yep. My name is Tyler, and you are?
I'm Esther.
So we do these once a month, these trainer talks, and we'll kind of wait a few minutes here because we want to see if more than just a couple people show up. So as usual, the way that this works is we have a list of people who have submitted questions to us about their dogs and questions that they obviously want answered. And so we go through these and we answer them. We have a list preset of all the questions. And then those of you who are here live as well, you can ask any questions that you have at the time, and we are more than happy to answer those questions. So if you are here, if you are watching, then please put a comment, ask a question, something like that would be absolutely wonderful. So, Esther, go ahead and take up some time while we wait.
Oh, you know me. I just sit and ramble. And
so we have Leah and Becky who are watching from Instagram, or at least one of them. One of them has already ditched us. So I don't know who it is. But, it was someone. So, right?
Oh, it says one on Facebook. So that's not even like our.
I know. We're going global right now.
Global. Great.
Yes, good start. Sorry, guys, if you're watching this. Hi, Jan. If you're watching this.
No, Loxley. Hi, Loxley. Loxley says hi.
Said it. Hello, Loxley. So if you're watching this, we're waiting for some people. We send out text messages and things like that, and we try to give people a little bit of time to join. So we're just waiting a couple minutes to see who joins and if they join. And then we'll kind of go from there. So
for sure.
In the meantime, though, Esther's going to do some trivia with you, some dog trivia.
Trivia. I'm going to wait for an answer to my question that no one's going to hear.
Just stand here for a half hour.
So I got to ask you, Tyler. Tell us about our new board and train that we have with
us. What about him? That he's absolutely adorable?
It's her, but
yes. She's absolutely, she's absolutely adorable. We have this cute little, her name's Bee, and she's adorable. And her owners are awesome as well. And so she's just a little tiny
pictures
thing.
Don't do her justice. I mean, they show how adorable she is, but they do not show just how tiny she is. And so she's just a cutie, and we're working with her. She's with us for 6 weeks and just working on helping her be a really well-behaved puppy. She's got the energy and the hops to be an agility dog. So they're hoping that they can do some fun agility, whether that is, I'm sure it's mostly just for fun and stuff like that, and letting out some energy. But she's such a cutie, and hopefully we'll have lots of content and videos to post about her in the coming weeks.
You guys will enjoy her. So we have our first question. It's on Instagram. So those of you on Facebook, you won't be able to see it. But the question says this. Hi, we are having a problem with my son's puppy racing up the stairs. And the other day she knocked my husband over. Any tips for training her to stop? So Becky, how old is this dog and how big is this dog? I would ask that first, and then I'll be able to give you some better recommendations as far as that goes.
Well, I mean, to start off with, that's a type of barrier.
Mm-hmm.
What is that called? When you teach him not to cross barriers. You teach him
barriers.
You know, a lot of times people think of that and it's like the door. You open the door and your dog needs to learn not to dart out it when the door's open. You can do that. Use that same concept to teach your dog not to run up the stairs or down the stairs until you give them the okay. And so that would be putting them in a sit or a down, whether that's at the top of the stairs or at the bottom of the stairs. And then generally that would be calling them to you when you've gotten to the other end of the stairs, because you don't necessarily want to release your dog from a distance. You know, we always tell people that if we put our dog in a stay, if we put our dogs in a stay, we need to return to them in order to release them and let them go. But so what do we do when we're farther away? We generally call them to us, tell them to come to us, and then we can release them.
Yeah. So if you remember when we were working with Calvin and we would do the place and he has to be released, I know, right? And he had to be released to do that, to get on and off of it, to get off of it. I would do some sort of the exact same thing with the stairs. So like Esther was just saying, does not go up and down the stairs unless release. And then if you have that issue, there is going to need to be some sort of a correction for breaking that boundary when not told to. You could even start with something. Well, you said 50 pounds. Goodness gracious, 8 months old. I'm thinking like a 2 month old,
Tiny dog.
yeah, tiny dog.
Little.
So, Becky, honestly, me, what I would do is I would totally, and I know this is going to have to be a conversation between you guys, but I would use a pinch, honestly, and I would walk and use the pinch to kind of pull back a little bit to get there to be a little bit of a hesitation on the stairs, and then make them pause while you go up and down a few times, and then release with yes. Now, even if you're saying, well, I'm not going to always be able to release my dog to go up the stairs or to go down the stairs. What this will do is give them a little bit of hesitation
Yeah.
when going up and down the stairs. And what that's going to translate into is them being a little slower and a little more calm when it comes to them going up and down the stairs. So if you can even use a pinch collar to get a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a halt initially, and then you release them to go up. After you've done this a bunch of times, there should be a little bit more hesitation, which means they'll go up and down a little slower as well. So I would totally do that because, as you said, with Todd, this could be a very serious issue if it's not dealt with soon. So I would absolutely put a leash on, put a pinch on, and teach that boundary there, and then make sure that they're taking it slow up and down the stairs. That's what I would do personally.
Yeah. And I mean, you might have already nailed it on the head and made it clear, but I really like the idea that when you're working on this barrier, your dog isn't going to sit and wait every time. You don't have to put your dog in a sit or a down in order for them to go upstairs or downstairs every single time. But if you work on it and you make sure that, hey, if you dart up without permission, or, when someone else is walking, then what am I saying?
No.
So if you teach them that, that hesitation, then, and you're by the steps and you're going up and it's okay, like it's okay for them to come up with you at that time, then you can just tell them, yes, it's okay. Come on up with me. It's not something that they have to wait every single time.
Right.
It's just something that there will be that hesitation. They will wait and look to you for the permission that they need to go up or down the stairs.
Yep, absolutely. So that's all right. She liked the answer. That's all we care about. So Becky, try that out and then let us know how it's going. Okay. Obviously, if you need some hands-on help with it, just let us know. We're happy to help. So we have a couple other questions here, guys. Well, one that's about a dog. So my neighbor has a dog that wants to play with my dog when we meet on a walk. However, she is afraid of me. I have tried to get her comfortable with me, but she isn't having it. Is there something I can do to make her more at ease? Well, Dad, the main thing you can do here is I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to. The main thing that you can do here is jealousy works in your favor big time when it comes to dogs. So if you have a dog that wants to meet Nanny and keeps on wanting to come up, but is a little hesitant about you, the best thing to do is to let the dog meet Nanny and then completely ignore the dog, or give Nanny some affection while ignoring the other dog. So what happens is dogs get really nervous when they feel like we're going to address them. So they see us and they go, okay, there's a person there. Oh no, that person's coming towards me. I'm terrified they're going to try and pet me or talk to me or anything like that. And so what we have to do is show them, hey, I'm actually not going to approach you. I'm not going to address you. I'm going to ignore you. And a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, that turns into the dog going, wait a second, why is that person ignoring me? Wait a second, why is that person not approaching me right now? And so because of that, you get the dog to be a little more inquisitive, a little more curious, wanting to follow you, check you out. And then once they start kind of doing 90, then you can give the other 10 and start giving a little bit of affection and start saying hi to them. But I mean, truly, it's just how it is. Dogs work better if you use jealousy against them. So yeah. We have a question from CJ. It says, should I give my dog Tylenol? And CJ, I'd encourage you to not, because they might end up like you, buddy. So I'd be very careful about that. Do not give them Tylenol. All right. Becky, you said we need you guys. You'll be in touch. We're looking forward to hearing it. We love to help you out. That sounds great. So guys, we have a list here of some questions that were submitted before this live stream. So we're going to go ahead and start answering some of these. I'm going to pass it over to my lovely assistant and she can get us started.
All right. First question we had is, can I train multiple dogs together or just one at a time? And yes, you can. However, you want to make sure that your dogs are consistent and know what it is that you're asking of them no sit in a down stay, all these commands that you're working on. You want to make sure your dog knows it individually before you add the added difficulty of having the other dog with them. And now you're doing super simple like sits and downs, having a fun little session or whatever. They could be in there together and you're sitting on the couch with some treats and, getting them to perform for you to earn those treats. But when you're working on new skills and or improving the skills, doing it one at a time first and then adding in the other dog after they've really gotten a more consistent at it on their own. Would you agree with that?
I agree with everything you just said, as
I know.
usual. That was wonderful.
So last time we did our Q&A, we had all these questions and Tyler answered them first. And every time I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's going to say, because this is what I would say. And then every time it was exactly what I would say. So I figured he'd give me a chance to talk.
Absolutely.
And you will maybe see why Tyler doesn't let me talk much.
All right, next.
Okay, anyways. Next question. Do dogs get bored? Yes, they do.
Next.
When your dog is chewing on stuff they shouldn't be, bouncing off the walls, barking, all this stuff, that's them. That's because they're bored and they're trying to get your attention or find something else to do to no longer be bored. And so, you have a lot of destructive behaviors come from being bored or obviously like other, behavioral problems. But, if you have a well-rounded, confident dog and they're doing some no-nos, it's generally because they are bored. And you can give them something to do.
Yeah. We have an important comment here. Thank you very much, Mother. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So Esther, on to the next one.
All right.
How do I fade out treats? Let me be involved. How do I fade out treats once my dog learns a behavior?
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna go as start with a sit. No, I'll do down because dogs will sit.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy. Jimmy, let's try and keep racism off of our. I can't believe you
hide
just
that
said
one.
That. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to hide it, Jimmy.
No, I'm saying, there.
What?
There, you can hide it. Can you not?
Jimmy.
Oh, and you can delete it. I don't know. Well, hopefully that's taken care of. Should we go back? It's a phone of silence. So, how do I fade out treats once my dog learns a behavior? I'm gonna walk you through it with a down. So when you teach your dog a down, you start out by having the treat and kind of bringing your hand all the way to the floor, getting them into that down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to eventually start to give the dog the command.
Oh, all right, Jimmy. I'll answer that question after you're done with yours then.
Then what you're going to do after your dog's consistently laying down when you lure them all the way down is to give them the command and then lure them into that down. And that sounds like, wait, I've been doing that already. And yes, I understand it's a process. So you give the command before you start luring, because then you're going to eventually give the command and give your dog a second to think about it and see if they will follow through without that lure. If not, you're going to start luring. And it's what we call fade the lure. So instead of luring your dog with your treat in your hand all the way to the ground, you're going to lure them down halfway and expect the dog to complete that down the rest of the way on their own. Then you're going to kind of like lessen how much you point down, how much you lure them into that down until you get to that point where you are giving them the command and maybe just pointing down and they lay down. And so how do you fade out treats? You kind of fade them out.
You can't use the word in the definition, Esther.
That's how you do. And so as you're doing it, and what you do is, I think I was kind of answering this a little wrong. No, but again,
this is what the people want to hear.
Fading out treats is when you periodically, so you're rewarding every time, and then you go to where you're rewarding every other time, and then you go to where you're rewarding every couple of times. Dogs are gamblers, so if they get a treat once, they will keep working for a period of time to see if they can earn more food. And so just rewarding them periodically and everything. But then you can also go into the whole question, the whole aspect, the side of, adding corrections for disobedience. So my dog is laying down because there's food, but what if there's no food involved? Well, there's also a correction or a consequence if they don't listen. And so they will listen because they will they will get corrected for it. And so balance trainers. And so we teach the dog what we want and show them what's not okay in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. Good answer. Well done.
You couldn't have done any better than
No,
that
no,
because
I
I
cannot.
got like from
You included
I cover
every possible thing. Yeah, so Jimmy, I think when it comes to dogs, like, and them smelling bad, in my opinion, any of like the darker colors, I think they tend to smell worse. And the reason being is I think that we don't notice when they're dirty as much.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have a dog that's all white and then they get dirt on them or they roll in poop or things like that, we don't notice it. Then if you have like a black dog or a brown dog or a mixture of the two or just any darker colors, I think you just don't notice sometimes that they get really gross. So I think, like, in my personal experience, yeah, I think so. Because for the most part, when we notice like a brighter colored dog or like a yellow lab or anything, you notice, hey, they're usually yellow. Now there's this thing on them. I'm going to wipe it off. But if it's a black dog or a darker colored dog, same as having like a black car when you don't notice things on it as much, you know? And so it's the
Yeah.
same deal. So I guess, yeah, technically, I do think that generally the ones that we neglect to wash more are the darker dogs because we're like, yeah, they look great. There's no
Yeah.
problems there. So, um, all right. How do I avoid matted fur with my dog? Jimmy here. All right. So it says, how do I avoid matted fur with dogs? So CJ, if you want to avoid matted fur with your dog, obviously it depends on the dog and their fur. There's certain types that just don't really get matted fur, which is great. Those are the dogs that we like, that we prefer. Um, but yes, Helen, they do. We'll talk about that. But mostly just brushing them
Yeah.
super consistently. CJ is the only thing that you can really do when it comes to trying to avoid matting. They just need to be brushed all the time, and especially if they get wet, you want to brush them almost immediately, or it'll all curl up and get matted, and it can get really bad. So, Esther, do you want to
Yeah.
explain the dog's rolling a poop?
Do I want to?
Yeah, please.
Do dogs roll in poop? Yes, they do. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, they, sometimes I don't know, sometimes dogs just like the smellier stuff and
Mm-hmm.
they think it's fun to roll in it.
So gross.
I think of Mom's Kula,
Yeah.
golden retriever up north, like the things she finds dead fish by the water
Yep,
and
rolls all
rolls
over 'em.
into the
Ugh.
stinkiest stuff. I can tell you that they do. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's a smell thing. I don't know. Just try and keep them away from it. It's gross. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
I mean, you correct your dog a few times, doing that, and they won't want to do it again, but that is something you wanna be on you have to stay on top of if you wanna. Yep,
yep, and that
that
stuff,
stuff.
Jimmy. Anything that's disgusting, they want to roll in it. So, you want to answer this one, babe?
How do I know when it's appropriate to use e-collars?
There's really only two times when using an e-collar isn't appropriate. First one is if the dog is too young, so like under 6 months. Second one is if you don't know how to use an e-collar. Those are the only two times in which using an e-collar is not going to be appropriate.
And then I would to add to that, um, it's also we don't use e-collars to teach new things, we use it to reinforce it. So, I'm not going to use the e-collar, apply the stim, and tell my dog to lay down when they've
Mhm.
never actually learned how to lay down.
Right.
And so it's something that we use to reinforce it in the sense of making it better. So we have them, my dog knows it down and will stay for a little bit, but they keep getting up. And so I'm going to start using the e-collar to get them more consistent and staying longer because I've added in that consequence, that correction. That's what I talked about earlier.
Yeah, yeah, and all this matters, what I was saying a second ago, right, is it all falls under, do you know how to use it or
Oh
not?
yeah.
So if you come to me and say, "Hey, I have no idea how to use an e-collar, but I think it'll be good for my dog, so I'm gonna get one and try and use it," then my guidance would be, "Hey, maybe not," right? Because
Mhm.
you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you know what you're doing and you've studied it up and you learned and you know how to use it with your dog, it's a wonderful tool. So that's why, like us with our training, there's pretty much no tools we do not use for training except choke collars. And the only reason we don't use choke collars is because there's a lot of room for user error, even
Mhm.
more so than like an e-collar or a pinch collar. So we just don't use those ones. But I always say to people that a tool is a tool, right? So like take a hammer, for example, you can build a house with a hammer or you can beat somebody to death with it, right? So there's a right use there, there's a wrong use. So with e-collars or pinch collars and anything at all, good way you can use them, change a dog's life, or you can use them really wrong and change a dog's life in the wrong. And so, yeah, I think really it comes down to 2 things, is the age, and then do you know what you're doing with it? That's how you're gonna know when to use it. Alright, why don't you address the next one?
Alright, so the next question, how do I stop separation anxiety barking? That's a, um, well,
Separation
like,
anxiety barking.
super,
There's a
like,
lot to that.
that yeah, I mean, separation anxiety is a very complex.
It's a loaded term.
Yeah, for sure, you have so many different levels of anxiety as well. Put simply, how do I stop it? You can use either a bark collar or an e-collar if you wanna have a little more control over it. A lot of times people, when they have dogs with anxiety, they think that an e-collar would just make it worse, but the problem, the reason a lot of dogs have anxiety, whether it be separation anxiety or any other type of anxiety, is because they don't have, because they are not getting clear structure
Guidance,
and
yeah.
communication and guidance in these scary situations that they are unfamiliar with. And so they react poorly because they don't know what's expected of them. And that's why it's important that we I started reading that. It's very important that we teach them and give them that guidance and show them, how to behave in these scenarios. When your dog, if they have separation anxiety and they are barking, they're only stressing themselves out more by barking, and so it's best to stop that barking, as early as you can, right?
Mhm.
Are you gonna join me?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, there's this quote that always pops in my head, but I never know it, so I never say it to clients, and it's this. So there's a it says that it's attributed to Archilochus, a Greek poet. Says, "We don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training." And
Ooh,
so that's I know, right? Isn't that good?
yeah,
And so what it is
exactly.
it's I attribute that to Tyler. Um, and so that's basically what happens with dogs, is that they're going to fall back and when they're nervous, when things are happening, to their lowest level of training, right? So if we've given them no guidance, it's not that they're gonna just magically be really, really wonderful, right? They're gonna fall back to whatever it is that we've worked on. So I always tell clients that when dogs are nervous, it's because they're in a situation that they don't know what to do, which is exactly what it's like to be nervous as humans as well. You get nervous in a situation because you go, "Yeah, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do right now." It's like when you walk into a building, right, or you walk into a party, there's 100 people and you go, "I have no idea where to walk, what to talk about, who to talk to, what to do," and then you get anxious and you get nervous. So you have your dog and your dog you leave, your dog doesn't leave you, I don't operate it. You leave your dog and your dog goes, "Okay, they left. They've never showed me what to do now. I just know they're not here. So what do I do?" And they start panicking, right? So that's why we need to show our dogs, okay, what are the acceptable things to do? And that's why usually crate training is the easiest too, because we show the dog, "Hey, what's a good thing to do is go lay in your crate and just chill out," right? Nice and simple. It's much easier to teach your dog that than to try and teach them everything they're supposed to do when you're gone, right? So crate train your dog. That will help with the separation anxiety, which in turn will help with the separation anxiety barking, and if it doesn't, get a bark collar. Other things to come. Alright.
You talk about crating, and I want to point out that a lot of people, they say my dog has separation anxiety, they break out of crates, so they get hurt trying to break out of it or whatever. Most often, 99 out of 99 and a half times, it's a wire crate or a cheaper plastic crate that the
Yeah.
dogs are in that they are breaking out of.
Yep.
Our dog can push open the door of
Most crates,
any
yeah.
of the normal, crates you get at the pet store. If your dog has that type of anxiety, investing in a higher quality crate is super important for that, and we talk about it all the time. It's an investment, but
Worth
sometimes
it.
it's
Yeah.
totally worth it, you save a lot of money in the destruction
Yeah,
that
3
you
broken
avoid.
crates cost a lot more than just getting 1 really good crate. Yeah, Patty, I love to hear it. It's funny you told us about that before, and I think we all just know that, I think we all just know that Gunner is a big old sissy, and he's the sweetest sissy in the world, so and then also, you said thanks for the training they people said they're well behaved. I'm thankful to hear that because we are the ones that treat them, so I'm very, very happy to hear that. CJ, I don't know. I've never been around. We don't train many Shih Tzus, I couldn't tell you. How do I teach my dog to heel on a walk? Esther, how would I teach that?
Oh, yeah,
You said you're the
that's
one who wanted to take over questions
and
today,
then I
okay?
would leave it to you when I wanted.
Go ahead. No, take it
So,
away. Take it away.
how do I teach my dog? So the biggest thing when it comes to walking your dogs, a lot of times people, hold the leash and put tension on the leash. So if they wherever their dog is, they want their dog next to them, so they hold it short enough so that when they are next to them, the leash is tight. That is just super confusing to dogs, and dogs, when they feel that tension, the tightness on the leash, they generally tend to fight it, and that's why even when they're right next to you, if you have the leash tight, they're gonna keep pulling, and
Love it.
that's not gonna be a very fun walk,
Yep.
even if your dog is in the heel position. And so the biggest thing when teaching your dog to heel is to give them you have to give them a little trust. And so you need to put them in the position you want them. So for us, the heel is standing with their shoulder to our and when they are in that position, they're not gonna feel any tightness on the leash. And then we teach our dogs that when we start walking, if they pull far ahead off to the side or even lag behind, we're gonna give quick tugs on their leash until they get back into the proper position, and then they're no longer gonna be feeling that tension on the leash again. And so we're teaching our dog, "Hey, if you're not feeling any tugging or tightness on the leash, you're in the right spot. But if you are not, if you move out of leave the right spot, if you're somewhere else that you're not supposed to be, you're gonna feel that tension." And that's to put it simply. Teaching a dog to walk is dogs catch on really well, but they also this is really shows when they're speakers because they know what they can do with it. Because teaching a dog to walk is very simple. Us as humans learning how to walk a dog properly is the hard part,
It's
right?
true. I always say it's like dancing. Why did I say that? It's like dancing because it's awkward at first, and it takes a while to get used to, and it takes both partners time to figure out, "This is how you walk, this is how you walk, this is how you do this, this, and this." Then once both figure out how the other one works, then it tends to go better. But at first, there's a lot of toe stepping and tripping and awkwardness. That's just how it is with walking. You just gotta kinda suck it up, buttercup, and move along when it comes to walking your dog. That's just the reality of it. I'm working with this, what's her name? I was just looking at some photos.
Label?
Yeah, Mabel, but their owner, I don't wanna just say yeah. So Mike and Mabel, I'm working with them, teeny little Yorkie, and we don't usually work with super teeny dogs because usually people don't reach out to us with their teeny dogs. And they never really they've done some walks, but we started with just some back and forth in their yard, and yesterday we started going out a little bit in the front yard and moving around and stuff, and it was just a lot of repetition, and that little dog is a rock walking. And it was just because they kept doing the same thing over and over and over. And Mike was okay with just the repetition of the same thing over and over and over. And eventually, Mike figured out how Mabel walked, and Mabel figured out how Mike was walking, and now they walk beautifully with one another. So it's got to stick with it, to be super, super. It's gonna be really boring, truthfully, but it's neat. You have really wonderful walks with your dog. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, you hear the question, "How do I teach my dog to heel on walks?" That's not a quick
No,
5-second
no, it doesn't
answer.
take. It
And
takes
so,
a
like,
long
there's
time.
so many different aspects to it that, um Do an online course for that.
We do, yeah. Speaking of an online course, we have one coming out sometime in the future that I don't wanna tease
Ooh.
really at all except what I just said. So, there's gonna be an
That is a
online
big
course.
tease.
There's gonna be an online course, I will tell you nothing else about it, so, that's just not and so
Oh, wait, I
oh,
did that one.
we just did
Yeah.
hold on, we just had a very important comment here. Uh, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Don't remember any of that, but okay.
Alright, next question we have is this one, guys. It says, "How do you feel about clicker training?" Esther, do you wanna answer that one or
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with clicker
no,
training. If
no, it's not.
you know how to do it properly, go ahead and use it. However, we don't because the clicker is a marker, is letting the dog know they are doing what you've asked them to do, right? And so we don't use the clicker because when a dog does what I've asked them to, I just tell them good. That's my clicker.
That's it, yeah, we already have enough going
To
on.
hold on to, like,
Yes.
adding an extra item hold in your hands is
Yep.
when you got a leash, treats, e-collar,
All that stuff.
sanity.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's just nothing wrong with them. We just you don't need it. We don't
Yeah.
use it. So, clicker training is unnecessary. Goodness, he's getting kicked off. All right, Jimmy. Fuck. Jimmy, I'm gonna send you some verses after this, okay? Love you very much. Is it okay to let puppies bite during their teething stage?
Okay, I don't know about you, but when I read that, my first thought is, "Do I let my dog bite me because they're teething?" Do you think of that or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't let him
'Cause
bite me.
don't let them bite you. No, it's not okay. However, it is important, like, they are teething, and I'm sure it hurts. It gives them, headaches, teeth their teeth, right? Um, but getting them something to help ease that or relieve that pain, it would be, so give them toys, give them something to chew on. Yes, that is a good idea. I don't think you need to really go into that too much.
Just don't let your dog bite
Not
you.
yourself, but yes, or your furniture or anything. Give them puppy safe toys to bite and chew on when they're teething.
Yep, and bite them back.
Vitamin
You
E,
guys have seen what's that movie, the one with
Snow
the dead guy?
dogs.
Yeah,
Wait,
is it Paul
snow dog.
Walker?
No, that's
Paul
8 Below, but that's not
oh,
the vitamin the ear one. Vitamin the ear
is
is
that
snow dog.
which is Paul Walker?
No, it's,
I don't know, I
I don't
think so.
know.
I think you're right there. We're taking Gunnar to trunk or treat tomorrow for the first time. What would you recommend is best with him? Keep him at a distance. So yes, yeah, keep him at a distance so he can just watch. If you keep him
Yeah.
close, then he might get overwhelmed and he might bark or growl at some kid. Also, there's gonna be certain kids who don't have that boundary, so they're going to just run up to your dog and scare the daylights out of him. So, yeah, give him some space. That's only fair to him and the people there. Julie, I am so happy that you're here. That was so fun. Go to sleep. Guys, Julie is, one of my English relatives, and they are 5 hours ahead of us right now. So what does that make it? 7, 8, 9,
Isn't
10,
it
11,
1 AM?
12. Yeah, so it's 12:45 in the morning right there, and so thank you so much, Julie. Love you to death, and it's so good seeing you and hearing from you, and thank you for watching us. It means a lot. Um,
Did you finish the one about the trunk or treat?
I did, yeah. Just
Okay,
give him some
'cause I mean,
space.
yeah, I absolutely had what I was saying there, but giving him that distance, it's so much more beneficial for him to just hang out and chill away from everybody where he can see and observe what's going on than trying to get him to say hi to everybody
Yeah, yep.
or
Let's
anybody even.
next question is this.
Okay.
Is sniffing on walks really that important? The answer to that is absolutely not. Sniffing on
Mhm.
walks is completely pointless. Everybody feels like their dog needs to do it, but they don't. Oh my gosh, here comes John in with
Oh, I didn't.
alright, let's answer this
So are they
question. Is
yeah,
sniffing on
I mean,
walks really that important?
it's not important. I mean, it may be a bit of like a
Let me know.
mental stimulation, right? But it's not like there's better mental stimulation that you can give your dog on a walk, and that would be what
A
is it called?
walk?
No, but
That
then
would be the walk itself?
oh, a structured walk where you're
Yes,
expecting something of your
yes.
dog that physically and mentally exercises your dog and is a lot more fun for you and your arm than letting them drag you around sniffing everything.
So what I always tell people, again, going back to Mike and Mabel from 2 days ago, um, that the anything on a walk or any training that requires a dog to use more than just its initial 5 senses. So it's not just it walks out the door, "What do I hear right now? What do I see right now? What do I smell right now?" All these things, right? If we're actually requiring it to think, then the walk is going to be better. So taking them out and letting them sniff everything does nothing for them because 'cause they're already sniffing everything all the time, always, right? They can smell what your neighbor 7 houses down is cooking from your living room. So they don't need to go right up and sniff the grass to know what's going on. So teaching them, hey, when we walk, there's an expectation. You need to pay attention to me. You need to focus on me. To ignore these other things. That's giving your dog mental stimulation. And I truly believe this. If people did a good job of mentally stimulating their dogs, then we probably wouldn't have a job anymore. So I'm very thankful that people don't do great with it, but people can do a lot better with that. So no, letting them sniff is not important to the dog. It's only really the owners that feel like that's super cool. For the puppy. So let's hear a question. So we have from,
Who's asking?
I know, but don't you feel like we should we're the experts, we're the dog whisperers. He says, "Do you think Homeward Bound was real? Like, how did they get those animals?"
Take it away, babe.
Have I seen Homeward Bound? Which one was that?
Where the golden retriever, the pit bull,
Homeward
and the
Bound.
cat get lost
Homeward
and they try to make their way home, and
Bound.
you are worried about
Oh,
the
yeah.
golden not making it.
So, just so you guys can know this about me, right? I will
It
not
ends
watch
happy,
I won't watch any movies where I
but
think
it
there's a
certainly made
chance
me cry.
that the dog will die.
I'm sure. I was little when I watched it.
So, I don't know. Now, John, answering this question in a field that you would understand, okay? Um, the only time I really know of animals talking is, the snake in the Garden of Eden, and obviously the donkey, right, talking to Saul, you know,
What's his name?
to
Starts with a
to
B,
to, uh,
I thought.
to the guy,
I don't wanna
So
say
we see in
anything
the
like, "Boo boo Clem." John just like
John's like, "Ugh." So John's Googling it anyways, he doesn't know. So that's really it. So perhaps Homeward Bound is a biblical story. I don't really know, but or perhaps it is fake. But I would hate to think that. So I do not know. Jimmy's answer is possibly also an answer to it. If I
Much to
drink
my
too
dog.
much, my dog talks to me like a human. I drink too much, my dog. All right, Jimmy, maybe you're
Yep.
drinking too much right now. Okay.
Uh,
Dad, you said, can you talk about letting your dog off leash? How do you do it without them running away? So, if we want to train our dogs to be off leash ready, we basically need to train them like a bajillion times to where they behave perfectly on a drop leash. So, our kind of structure is we do a short leash, then we do a long leash, then we do a drop leash, and then if they do well drop leash, then we take them off of the leash completely. So, if our dog can go out to anywhere at any time with any distraction, and still stay by us when the leash is dropped, there's a pretty darn good chance that they're not gonna take off when the leash is no longer
I
present.
think you also wanna make sure that your dog will come to you when you call for them to, and not just, you know, in the house, low distraction, when you're out in public places or whatever, at a park and your dog's running around on a drop leash. You're not gonna unhook that leash until you know that your dog will come to you no matter what kind of, distractions are going on around you.
Mhm.
I think of we took our dog when we lived in the apartment and, we had this open field that we could play in, the dogs. And
We can run around in.
and they had good recalls. I don't know if I was on the long line at that point or not, and they were stuck. And what are you
Mhm.
gonna do? There's nothing you can do if you have no control over your dog. That's why we use e-collars now. But, yeah, she's stunk our whole apartment,
She did
and
indeed.
that was a lesson that we learned.
But yeah, so Dad, basically the answer to that is take it very, very slowly. People try and rush their dog to off leash, and
Yeah.
that's a
I
horrible
mean,
mistake.
like, I do think of, like, right off the bat, what do you do? Okay, get a 15 to 30-foot long leash, clip it up to your dog, and just hold the other end of it. A lot of times, dogs will just take off and
Mhm.
hit the end of the leash, realize that they don't have the freedom they thought. and dogs like, there's nothing wrong with letting your leaving a six 60 a 30-foot leash on your dog and letting them run around in a field, that's still I can't say off leash, it's on a leash, but it's still a lot of freedom. There you go.
Exclamation point, period. All right. Should I be working on training at my house in a
Or
oh,
or
okay, yep. Should I be
forgot 'em,
should I be
missed the
working on
letter.
training at my house or in a public area? Both, but you always wanna start in your house.
Mhm.
Start with low distractions and then slowly ramp it up.
You
In your
can't expect
house
your dog to learn something new when they're so distracted by something new.
oh, goodness gracious. Alright, so start in your house, then work in your backyard, then go to your front yard, then go around the block, then go to a park, then go to the pet store, and slowly ramp it up each time. Esther, you wanna take
Yeah.
this next one?
I wake my puppy up at night to go potty.
Are they working? Oh, that's only
Well, if you need to go to the bathroom, probably should just let them sleep, don't need to wake them up every time.
good one, man.
Thanks. But if your puppy's sleeping, do not wake them up to let them out. They will let you know if they need to go out. It's
Yeah,
because they're puppies, they're still potty training, they need to be crated. And so they will let you know when they need to go out. And so they're why would you no, you don't need to wake up your puppy to let them outside. Let them wake you up.
yeah. Next question, mother. When I go walking in my neighborhood, dogs come up to me to pet, but I'm too nervous. How do I get over this? So first off, you have no obligation to pet dogs. If one comes up to you to say hi, you don't have to say hi to them. For me, it just comes from starting with calmer dogs, I think is the big thing. I think people get scared when a dog runs up to them and is all insane and jumping all over them and everything.
Yeah.
So I understand why people are nervous when it comes to that. So I would just start with the calmer dogs, and then you just put your hand out, let them lick it a little bit, and then you can give them a little bit of love. But
Yeah, I would start by, like you said, you don't have to pet
mm-mm,
and treat all these dogs. However, addressing them.
yeah,
If a dog is kind of giving you attention, talk to them, say, "Hi, puppy," like, "How are you doing?" And then, keep your hands down. Don't wave them around
right,
too much like I do. But, keep your hands down, and if the dog comes up calmly and happens to, like, nudge you or something, it's a lot easier and more natural to start petting them then, as opposed to if the dog's crazy, I don't wanna pet the dog. I don't want them
right,
jumping on me, so don't, and if the dog's super aloof and doesn't really want to be pet at all either, then there's no need to pet as well.
right.
And so my what I say, just start by addressing them and talking to them a little bit more. You'll get a little more comfortable with it, and then, it'll one of these days it'll happen and you're like, "Wow, what a cute dog. I just have to pet it."
All right, so we got 2 more questions here, guys, and then we'll get done because we are coming up on an hour here. So, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to throw them in this because we're gonna answer these last 2 and then bounce. So next up is
So we won't answer these questions.
what's your favorite quick enrichment activity for dogs? Hmm,
Um, okay, quick, I would just do, like, the lick mats. You get a little they're
I have one of
little mats.
yeah.
They're in here now. And just spread peanut butter over it
Mhm,
and let your dogs just lick at
yep,
it, and it keeps them entertained for however long.
I like the Kongs too.
I also saw the Kongs, fill the Kongs up with peanut butter, yogurt, whatever, put it in the freezer, let it freeze so it takes them a while. Anything that gets your dog to just hang out and lick it at something,
And
right?
just vibe, just good vibes.
They're high. Uh,
I
what
like
was
the
I gonna say?
place command. The place command that we teach, I like using certain commands.
Oh,
I think the place command is a good one for enrichment as well,
I
depending
was
on what
gonna
you
say
mean by
enrichment.
enrichment.
You also have the snuffle mats where it's like little, like, fabric that stick up and you just take juice in it. Also, you can just get a towel and, like, drop juice in it and roll it up and, like, let the dog
Yeah, which is
so
always dangerous.
I feel like we have a question every time about enrichment and mental stimulation,
Should
everything.
we like
We
something
have
on
a
that?
blog out there about several different activities you can do when you're stuck inside. It says in the winter, but
Maybe
it's
we should
also
make a
for any time
course
you're
on
stuck
that.
inside.
Maybe we should make a course on
Of
enrichment.
course.
Yeah, and they'll sell it for like $2,000 and it'll be like 10 minutes
Just
long.
have to
All right, last question is this. It says, why won't my dog stay unless I'm standing right in front of them, and the reason being is because you haven't taught them to. So you need to once again slowly build up, like how I was saying with the walking, with every single obedience command, you must build. Think of it like walking up steps. If you tried to walk up the first step and then walk up the seventh step, you're gonna look like an idiot and
Yeah.
you're gonna hurt yourself, right? So 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. So what you have to do is you start off with a really, really, really low distance stay. Ask your dog to sit, you wait, then you release them. Then you do a little more distance, then you do a little more distance, you do a little more distance. So you're from 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, and so on and so forth. When we train dogs, we have what we call the 3 Ds of training. First one is duration. This is the order in which you want to train your dogs of any command. Duration for a sit. I want to teach them to sit for 5 seconds. I want to teach them to sit for 5 hours. So I'm building up the duration. Next one is distance. I want to teach them to sit when I'm 5 inches away. I want to teach them to sit when I'm 5 feet away. And the last one is distraction. I want to teach them to sit when there's nothing going on. I want to teach them to sit when there's somebody banging on the door, or when I drop food, or when there's food on the counter, or when somebody's ringing the doorbell. So you naturally are going to increase the distance, excuse me, the duration, the distance, and the distraction for your dog. So if your dog is struggling to stay when you're moving away from them, it's simply because you haven't taught them to do that yet. So I just walked you through it. Do exactly what I just said, and your
No, I
dog
like
will
it.
stay. Nothing less to add to that. Nothing left to add to that. That was, I think, as close to perfect as you could get. Um, so guys, I see no more questions here, and I'm gonna wait like 30 seconds before I end it, the stream. So you just you just, I'm not that sad that there's no more questions. But you guys just let us know if you have any more questions. Please keep submitting them so we can answer them like we did here.
Yeah.
We absolutely love hanging out with you guys
We
and
also
being
love to
goofballs.
just, yeah, answer questions
Um,
and talk about training.
yeah, I mean, you got questions about anything,
It's like,
got
us
questions,
too.
which is what we're here for, you know? So, I'll wait another 10 seconds here because I don't want to stand here awkwardly
It's
waiting.
like it's 7. Are you waiting till the
Thank you. Of course, Helen, love you. We were a little bit late, but I mean, if there's no
no,
other
that's fine.
questions,
I'm not
I
gonna
don't feel
sit
the need to
here
sit
and
here and
not
stare
do
at myself.
anything.
We're gonna sit here in front of the camera
So
for
we've raised
7 more minutes.
yep.
And just be as awkward as possible. We have
This is the
nobody.
after show where people
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
hang
Can
out
I advantage
while we're
after
just
dark
chit
type of a
chat.
thing. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I'm waiting to start seeing the subscriber numbers drop further. Brett said,
What?
"Oh, it went up."
Oh no.
Whoever just joined us, you have a question. We're about to end. I don't know who it was. Someone just jumped in. Before I close, I'd hate for you to pop on and then leave immediately.
It says you do. It's probably you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, totally could have been, couldn't it? I would love for you
So, do
to
you have a
I would
question?
love for you 2 to train Gunner off leash. I'm concerned because of the experience. Yeah, Patty, it's absolutely. I don't think being off leash trained is something for every single dog. Truly, as sad as that is to say.
Well,
However, I
oh,
don't know
oh,
that
yeah.
Gunner isn't one of those
No,
dogs that
she's not
couldn't be
worried about
trained.
him. She's worried about other dogs. And so,
Oh,
I get
yeah,
that,
yep.
and that is very that's why we avoid dog parks. That's why we
Avoid
avoid,
stupid owners.
like, populated areas that dogs are often go to. Uh, but I'm sure there's going to be some places you go to that that there's no dogs around, and having it off leash freedom would be amazing. And so,
Mhm.
absolutely, we would love to help you with
All right, we lost 2 people, so now the traction is fading. It is
that.
slowly dying out. Um, you ignored my question. Sharon, what did you ask? What Jonathan asked? Are you talking about the one that John
Well,
said?
if she
We
is
did
if it
answer
was
that.
Homeward Bound, we did talk about I didn't see another one
Yeah, we did answer
that you
Homeward
went
Bound,
too far.
Sharon. I don't see.
John's question. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. It was just Homeward Bound. We can ignore that. We gave you a great theological answer to that question. So, um,
Oh, you were making sure she didn't answer your question.
all right, my friends. We will be streaming again. When is our next?
Ooh, our canine
We have
clash.
a canine
Oh,
clash
guys,
coming up.
this is okay, I'm not gonna say that, but we got 2 dachshunds.
2 dachshunds. Yep.
2 dachshunds competing, brothers, little brothers competing for the canine clash championship. That is next Saturday, October 18th. Join. They're gonna be hilarious. I'm
And then
sure.
what is it supposed to be? The first Saturday that we
Yeah,
do
our
this?
live Q&As, these are supposed to be the first Friday of every month,
Friday, that's it.
unless something happens and we're back another week. But that'll be October 7th. It is October. November 7th.
That'd be 3 days ago is when we're gonna stream again.
November 7th is, Lord willing, our
Yeah.
next trainer
We
talk.
really need to put, like, a graphic out or something like that we can show for this stuff, so that's not for you guys to know about. Sharon, I have no other questions from you on here.
Wait, go down.
I'm going through everything. I have nothing else on here.
It's not in somewhere else, right?
It's not on
Oh, wait, yeah.
Instagram. It's, what Jonathan asked. All I have from you, Sharon, is what Jonathan asked. So, we're gonna go now.
That's there was a oh, yeah, there's another.
You just said that. I just wanna sit
Right.
here when you were talking. All right, my friends. We love you guys. Oh, she was talking about eating on the couch and the dog keeps begging her for food. That is not showing up for us. I don't see that anywhere on here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick before I close this out. Yeah, Sharon, I'm not just ignoring you. I just don't have that on
Yeah,
here.
I did see that. Where are you
Maybe this is
going?
missing some stuff.
So, okay, so she's on the couch and the dog keeps begging.
I need specifics.
Ooh, let me tell you, teaching your dog the place command, is a great way to get your dog to give yourself some space from your dog. So if your dog is bothering you, is underfoot, is crazy, and you want them to just hang out and chill.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
Oh, I don't know where
Interesting.
how that
Go ahead and answer that. Let me make sure I
teach your
listen
dog
to
the
this.
place command. That means you have a cot or a dog bed, and you tell them place, and they have to go there, lay down, and wait until you release them and tell them it's okay to get up. That just gives you a little space from the begging. They will still give you those puppy dog guys wanting something, but that's my answer. What about you?
That's my answer too.
Place.
Do the place. Um,
If you need help, just
give us a call. I know a good
yes,
trainer. So, yep, let us know.
especially yep.
All
Sorry.
right. Love you guys. We will
Bye.
see you on those dates that we said earlier. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you around, okay? Bye, guys.